Motion to approve.
Any changes, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Don't have any licenses. I did see Lieutenant back there.
Hi, Lieutenant Garen. So, you guys all have the report already. Really what I came in, there's a lot of theft from vehicles that have been occurring over the last night and possibly the night before. We have some things developing. I know, it's not just here, it's in the city of Burlington as well. I don't know about Rochester yet. There's constantly more and more people calling. There's been one vehicle stolen. As I understand, the car keys were in it. Most of these thefts from vehicles were unlocked vehicles, and then the stolen vehicle had the car keys left in it. So if you have the ability to send something out to your citizens, maybe on the website, lock your things, don't leave your keys in. If you think that's appropriate to send out, and then I can't share any information right now on possible suspects or anything, but if you wanna send out, for people to be vigilant and check their, home surveillance system. Alright.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thanks, Chuck.
Alright.
I will make a comment that we run into this every once in a while. And it's great to live in a neighborhood where you feel like you can leave your wallet in the car or leave the doors open and stuff, but it's not smart.
Yeah.
And leave the keys in the car, especially
happens, and-
now with the little electronic fobs. Oh yeah, just throw it on the dash there and I hop in and just push the button all the time, but people, sometimes you get too comfortable and people need to get a little smarter.
Honestly, overall, it's like every 3, 4, maybe 5 years, where all of a sudden this thing happens, and overall it doesn't happen, right? So by and large, your guys' community and all the way east from Union Grove and everywhere else, it's by and large pretty good, right? Very safe. We are putting out overtime for an extra car to roam the whole west area tonight, just for that purpose, just for suspicious activity and suspicious persons, just so you guys are aware of that, okay?
We will get that out like we did last time we had this issue, so.
Thank you.
Alright, yep.
Okay, Heather, library, you got something?
No, the report was in the packet, unless there are any questions.
Any questions for Heather? Okay, I didn't wanna miss you.
Thank you.
DPW director, anything?
Reports in the packet.
Okay, fire chief Rosina, he sent me a
On a work
message,
call.
he was on a call and he was gonna make it. Kurt, do you have anything or just, alright? RCDC administrator, anything?
Yes, sir. So there's been quite a bit of conversation within the community in the last few months about policing, and just heard Chuck talk about a recent spate of breaking into unlocked vehicles and one vehicle theft or vehicle that had keys in it. A lot of concern around, are we gonna have local policing, are we gonna have a sheriff's contract, what's the fate of the local police department? So I was asked to speak just for a second tonight about our capability. So you do have a police and fire commission that, should the need arise for you all to create your own police department, would be responsible for a review of the applicants for positions. Should you decide to create your own police department, it's on you all to create the job description, determine what positions we would hire for, to fund those positions within particular wage and salary ranges. And then the PFC would be responsible for actually reviewing the candidates and selecting the chief and officers that would serve. You are required, unlike the town under state statute, to have a chief, so you can't just have a lead officer, you have to have a chief. You do own the patrol vehicles, you own a substantial amount of equipment, and you do have facilities that could be converted over to meet the needs of the police department. Hanging on the wall back there, you have photographs of Officer Shannon, who worked for you as part of your own police department for a number of years. So you've done this in the past, you can do this again in the future should the need arise. Any questions on that? Okay.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yes, sir. Understand from the town board meeting, either earlier in the month or late December, that there was a deliberation to, create a committee, that would look at policing as an issue. I was tasked following that meeting with, meeting up, with Sarah Polka to look at, jointly staffing our two communities. Have been unable after a number of, phone calls and emails to get Racine County to provide the data series. Travis actually took a pass on creating the data, citing other, work demands, within the county. So I do not have good data to give you, regarding that. I can, however, explain that, as previous assistant administrator for the town of Fremont, North Carolina, which falls under MSA, which makes it the 38th most dangerous community in America, so worse than Compton. We typically would have one officer on 24/7, 365. And we did that by maintaining a cadre of full-time officers, plus a full-time chief. So I know that can be done, under federal overtime regs, and we've also rotated some part-timers, should the need arise. Right now, you have 3 full-time officers, a number of part-timers that are employed by the town and also service this jurisdiction. Sarah is taking a proposal over to the town to have that fill in as an interim. She needs to get scheduling approval on that. On mine, I've looked at it and said, yeah, this looks about as good as it's gonna be for the moment that we're in. I drafted a contract amendment, at President Houston's request, and sent that over to the town, to grant some flexibility to, us, should we have an exigent circumstance, AKA what has occurred, or maybe officers have left, but either way, the full-time cadre of officers that we normally depend on being not present. I expect the board to take that contract up and vote hopefully favorably on that, so we can maintain contractual obligations to each other. And at the present time, you're being covered.
I will comment on that a little bit for some of us that have been going to the town meetings. It's quite, hostile work environment there, as I would describe. It's gonna be hard to get somebody to come into that, in my opinion, into, as far as starting a new job. That would be that'd be a tough one. They do have some candidates, from what I understand, that's possible, and they are working on that, and as the village, we have been working together, and we still will continue to work together to solve this problem, and to get hires, and to get a chief, in my opinion, is we need to get a chief. You gotta get a leader. Gotta get a leader hired to start this. We've been out without a chief for over a year. So I believe that's the next step, and as some town board members also do, you do have a chairperson that's trying to sabotage everything that's being done over there. And anybody that's been to those meetings, there's people out here that've been to those meetings. That's my observation, my personal opinion, but you guys see anything different? You know? But anyway, long story short, we were working with the town. We want to prefer to stay working with the town to keep our police department together. And there's still policemen out there, still being covered, and they're working hard. And these policemen and women are in a tough spot, because could you imagine being in a spot where somebody's talking about your job all the time, not knowing if you're gonna be out of work, or what's gonna happen here in the next 3 months, 6 months? That's a tough position for these officers, and we hope to get things together and get things more stable. So, Zeke, do you have a question?
The committee that was discussed, what was the makeup of membership?
First of all, the town chairperson has not called me whatsoever. From what I can remember at the meeting I was at, I believe it was two board members and two, public.
2 board members from each and 3 public meeting boards.
Was it 3?
Is there a reason for us tonight to not go ahead and appoint the 2 board members and seek citizen,
Yeah, Tim agreed to.
citizen involvement? So we could at least put that foot forward that, hey, we put our members, or nominated those, and we're waiting on the town to do the same.
There's not, we definitely can go ahead with that. I have had one person reach out to me, and, I called her today and gonna send out a talent bank questionnaire. So if anybody else wants to reach out, we'll definitely put it on the list there, once the town gets their, ducks in a row.
I was at the town board meeting prior to coming here, and Julie stated that she has gotten 16+ community applications, and they will start the process and hopefully have a committee picked in place in the next 7 days.
Okay. So it sounds like we should get our 2 trustees
Sure.
nominated and get a citizen
Any-
member.
Trustees wanna serve on it?
I would love to be part of that.
Alright, sounds like we got 2, who spoke up. Okay.
I-
Let's start.
I will say, as far as a policing standpoint, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, I think that we definitely need to find a way to work with the town to either create a co-operational department, or contract with the sheriff's department if that does not work. I don't think it would be fiscally responsible for us as a community to start and operate our own police department within the village. And that's where I'm at.
I think just like everything else, we need to look at all the options, put them together, and make a decision. As a board. Sure don't wanna make that decision tonight, cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, any other comments, Zeke?
No, sir.
Anybody else?